Consider a Volvo truck and a Volvo passenger van. Same power, same technology, but why does the truck always place the engine right under the driver's feet, while the passenger van hides it at the very back? This isn't simply a design preference, it's a matter of economics and safety. If you've ever ridden in a vehicle from 20 years ago, you'll understand why this change was so important. But moving the engine to the back isn't easy. It requires complex control systems and a completely different cooling method. So why can't every manufacturer do what Volvo Scania does? And what's the real secret beneath that steel exterior? Let's explore with simple why. In the early days of long-haul transportation, boarding a bus wasn't exactly a luxury experience. In fact, many older Americans still remember the feeling of riding in old Greyhounds or school buses. It felt more like commuting to work in a factory than going on vacation. The reason was that buses back then were essentially trucks carrying people. Manufacturers built them on standard truck chassis because of the low cost, simple design, and ease of maintenance. However, this meant a massive diesel engine sat right at the front, often hidden under a large metal bumper next to the driver. For passengers, it was a nightmare. The vibrations followed the engine's RPM, shaking the entire cabin. If you sat in the front rows, you not only heard the roar, but also felt the stifling heat and smelled the diesel fuel leaking through the floor. It was a noisy, hot, and tiring experience, leaving you feeling the beat of the car long after the journey ended. Engineers quickly realized that as long as the engine was at the front, true comfort was impossible. The idea of moving the engine to the rear had emerged as far back as the 1930s, with pioneers like the Yellow Coach in the US. However, it wasn't until major players like Volvo and Scania perfected the design that it became the gold standard for the luxury passenger car segment. Moving this massive and heavy object wasn't simply a matter of changing weight. It was a complete transformation of the passenger experience. By placing the engine at the very rear, the noisiest and hottest part of the car was now furthest away from the passengers. Suddenly, the cabin became quieter, smoother, and much cooler. Passengers often noticed this significant improvement in comfort long before they understood the engineering behind it. Luxury passenger vans have finally shed their rattling truck-like appearance and begun to offer a feel more like a modern aircraft, gliding smoothly along the highway. On older, front-engine buses, power had to be transmitted through a long, heavy drive shaft, called the drive shaft, that stretched the entire length of the vehicle to reach the rear wheels. This resulted in significant energy loss and added vibration. By placing the engine at the rear, brands like Volvo and Scania have positioned the power source right next to the wheels, responsible for operation. This shorter connection allows for better acceleration, more efficient hill climbing, and a smoother ride on highways. Additionally, moving the engine to the rear helps to distribute weight more stably at high speeds and allows for more effective suspension tuning. Even the driver benefits, with engine noise located further back. They'll be more alert and less fatigued on long journeys, making the entire trip safer for everyone on board. Moving the engine to the rear solved old problems, but it created entirely new challenges that engineers had never faced before. The biggest obstacle was the cooling system. Unlike front-mounted engines, which could receive natural airflow while the car was running, rear-mounted engines were housed in a sealed box. To prevent overheating, manufacturers like Volvo had to develop enormous radiators and powerful fans, significantly increasing weight and cost. Maintenance also became much more complex. These cars required sophisticated electronics, specialized automatic transmissions, and highly skilled mechanics. In harsh climates, the risk of overheating was very high, causing early models in some countries, such as those used in the Commonwealth Games, to frequently experience reliability issues. It turns out that relocating the heaviest part of a vehicle is not just a change in physical position, but also a costly high-tech gamble that only top manufacturers can truly master. When engineers moved the engine to the rear, they inadvertently created a new safety puzzle. In a rear-end collision, that massive block of steel acts as a solid barrier, protecting the passengers inside. However, by removing the engine from the front, the bus's nose becomes flatter. This means the impact absorption zone, the space that dissipates energy in a head-on collision, is significantly reduced. For the driver and front row passengers, this change initially increases risk. This is precisely why modern safety engineering from brands like Volvo or Scania is so complex. To compensate, they have to develop reinforced front structures and advanced energy-absorbing frames that were absent in older truck-style buses. This is a powerful reminder that in the engineering world, every step toward comfort often entails a difficult safety trade-off that engineers are compelled to address. If rear-engine buses are so good, why hasn't the world switched to them? The answer lies in the harsh realities of economics and infrastructure. While brands like Volvo and Scania dominate the premium passenger bus market, front-engine designs remain the king of durability. Rear-engine buses are expensive to manufacture, difficult to repair, and require high-tech maintenance facilities. In many parts of the world with rough roads or extremely hot climates, a simple and robust front-engine bus is actually more practical. Front-engine buses aren't obsolete, they're built to survive. Mechanics can repair them with basic tools, and they handle rough terrain far better than their more sophisticated counterparts. Ultimately, while rear-mounted motors have changed how millions of people perceive journeys, the real world constantly reminds us that it's not always the best technology that wins, but the most reliable and affordable. So the next time you step onto a city bus and walk straight in without climbing stairs, that's the rear engine at work, even if it's completely invisible to you. A design decision made in a Swedish engineering lab 70 years ago is the reason your commute boards in 3 seconds instead of 30. What part surprised you most? The floor connection? The radiator relocation? Or the fact that school buses still haven't switched over? Drop it in the comments. We read everyone. If you've got a topic you want us to look into next, leave it in the comments, and if we pick yours, we'll give you a shout out. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching Simple Why.